Hello, my name is Adrian Garcia, and today I'm going to be talking to you about conflicts in the workplace that was resolved with my insight. The conflicts that I've assisted in resolving are typically between a sales analyst and a traveling employee, and once between one of my subordinates and an individual from a different section. Um, so the first situation was a sales analyst reviewing the expenses made on a company card. One of the female employees that was traveling made a purchase for feminine hygiene products and filed them under meals, hoping that it wouldn't get noticed. So the sales analyst caught the transaction, which resulted in the analyst conducting a line by line audit on the expenses made by the employee in question. The analyst was frustrated that the employee knowingly filed the hygiene expenses as a meal. Um, the analyst tried to explain to her that the purchase of feminine products do not qualify for covered expenses provided by the company. The employee then expressed immunity towards the sales analyst and escalated the situation to other parties, stating that it was a business expense and should be covered. Um, as a result of this conflict, the company memo was designed and disseminated to clarify that the company card was to only be used for meals and for gas for the rental vehicles. In addition, the memo emphasized the need to turn any and all receipts made using the company card, and the sales must be turned into the sales analyst for the expenses to be covered. This is an ideal solution to make sure the expenses were clarified and to not let the rest of the organization know that the female employee in question was the result of the need for this memo. The products that the female employee made were not covered by the company, and it eventually did come out of the individual's expenses. Um, as a result, there was tension between the two parties after the exchange. However, the sales analyst was just merely doing her job, and the situation was needlessly escalated. Um, the second situation was between the sales analyst trying to resolve an issue of a missing receipt. In this situation, one of the traveling employees had made a small purchase pertaining towards a fast food restaurant meal that resulted in $3.50. However, the employee had lost the receipt. Despite this purchase being for meals, which is what within the company's authorized purchases, it could not be verified. The sales analyst was willing to write off the expense. However, they did not have the authority to do so. Because the company protocols needed to be followed, this resulted in the need for higher ups to get involved, thus wasting some of the company time and some of their resources. The solution to this conflict was the sales analyst was then authorized to approve small meal purchases that did not exceed $5 without the receipt in the event that situations like this happen in the future. My insight to this was the amount of funding allowed for the sales analyst to approve. I felt that this was an appropriate resolution to this, as it's difficult to kind of contact fast food restaurants to for a receipt as they make many exchanges or small dollar exchanges. Now, the third situation was a little difficult. So, one of my employees had made spicy food to stop a lunch thief. So, in this situation, the company has a community fridge to store their lunches. All of the lunches inside the fridge have the individual's names on it. However, once in a while, an employee would not see their names on the lunch or Tupperware and mistake it for their own, heat it up, start eating it, and later apologize. So one of my employees, they made a very spicy ghost chili lunch in hopes that it may be accidentally mistaken by the possible food thief. So the food was taken, and the individual, the thief in question, was later sent home for stomach pains and even had a doctor visit the following day. Um, HR was later involved, stating that the owner of the lunch could get potentially terminated, my soldier, for intentionally poisoning the food. The individual who had stolen the food had admitted to stealing the food, and the creator of food demonstrated that he did not intend to poison the individual, and then ate the chili to prove that it wasn't poisoned. Um, So he pretty much demonstrated that he should not be punished because the thief was unable to eat the food that the owner liked. So the thief was reprimanded for this one time incident, and then he was later moved to a different section. I think he was actually terminated. Um, the reason being was that he admitted to stealing the lunches from the scenario, and thus was the prime subject of stealing the lunches. So after the individual was removed, he was no long lunches were no longer taken. Now my role in this situation was just watching out for my employees' job career security, making sure that he did not get punished because someone else stole his food. Um, so these situations were pretty much solved with at least my insight to some degree. My guidance for these course of actions I felt were reasonable, and it did actually have an impact on the final outcome. So thank you.